everybody. Welcome once again to a Fraser Public Library activity tutorial. Today we are going to be making toilet paper roll princesses. Now, as probably most of you have discovered, the amount of toilet paper rolls that you can collect is kind of astounding. So you can make as many princesses as you want to. I'm just going to make one today as an example, but here are the supplies that you're going to need. Most of these you could find at home. In fact, most of these I just found here at the library. We need a toilet paper roll, or as many as you want to make princesses for. You're going to need some ribbon that matches either some fabric or tulle or something like that. So I've got yellow ribbon and yellow tulle. You're going to need a color of paint that matches your ribbon and your tulle. So I've got yellow paint. You're going to want paint for the skin of your princess and the hair of your princess, and maybe some extra paint just so that you can paint some features on her face. You're going to want some glue, some scissors, a cup of water so that you can, rinse out your paintbrush, and some paintbrushes. All right, I've got a couple of different sizes. I've got a small one for details, and I've got some big ones. All right, so we're going to start by painting the skin of our princess. So decide what you want the top of your princess to be. So I'm going to do the top being here. And you're going to paint about 1/3 of the way down with the skin color, okay? So my skin color is this light brownish color, what I always wanted my skin color to be. And so you're just going to paint your toilet paper roll that color. And again, you want to go about 1/3 of the way down. You don't want to make it too terribly thick because it does need to dry before we do the next portion, and you don't want it to take forever to dry. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but I have a feeling you're like me and you like to do things kind of at a pretty good pace, so don't paint it too thick, otherwise it's going to take forever for it to dry. All right, so I've got my princess skin color on here. I'm just going to do a few touch-ups, and then I'm going to pause, and we're going to wait for this to dry. It shouldn't take very long. There's not very much paint on there, as you can tell. All right, so let's pause and let this dry. All right, so my princess is dry right now. So now you're going to paint her dress. So whatever color you want her dress to be, I'm gonna make it yellow. So you're gonna just put a little bit of paint on whatever source you're using. In this case, I've got a paper plate. If you're using the same paintbrush, make sure you rinse it really well in the water. Otherwise, you're gonna kind of get a really muddy color, and that's not pretty. Anyway, so we're gonna paint our princess dress. So choose whatever side you want the front to be. I'm gonna have this be my front. I've got a really distinct line on my toilet paper roll, so I don't want that to show. So this is gonna be the front. And the front, you kind of wanna do a nice V for her beautiful ball gown. So we're going to do a nice V. There we go. See, nice V. All right, now paint the rest of your toilet paper roll with the color of your dress. I may have to do a couple of layers of yellow because yellow is a pretty light color. And it's kind of gonna show underneath, but that's okay. I don't mind painting it a couple of times. So just paint the rest of the toilet paper roll with the color of the dress. And then, hold on, I got a little bit more to do. And then we'll pause again because we gotta let this part dry before we move on to the next part, which will be painting our princess's face. So make sure you've got, oh, actually hair next, then face. So make sure you've got the paint that you want picked out for her hair. And we will do that part next. All right, I'm gonna finish painting this, let it dry, and then we'll come back. All right, so now that it is dry, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna add some hair to our princess. So I've got a darker brown that I want her hair to be, so I'm gonna just pour a little bit out onto my paper plate. And you want a smaller brush for this because unless you want to do really, really big curls or something like that, feel free to do that if you so desire. You're probably going to want a slightly smaller brush. So I was thinking that I wanted her hair to have like a little bit of bang and then maybe a swoop, kind of like mine, and then really long and wavy, not like mine. So I'm going to start with a little bit of swoopy bang. So let's do swoopy bang over here. There we go. See, swoopy bang. Then we're gonna have a little bit of a swoop over here. There we go. Still a tiny one. Swoopy bang. All right, and then I'm just going to do basically like wavy lines down so that it looks like she has wavy hair. Like that. See, little wavy lines. And you can make her hair as long as you want, as short as you want. You can make it any color you want. I just happen to like the dark brown with the lighter brown skin. I think that looks pretty. So there we go. Oh, I should probably add a little bit of wave to her bangs so that it looks like her hair doesn't just have weird bangs. So you're going to continue to put your hair on. So go all the way around with the hair. Ooh, that one got a little bit too wavy. Wavy, 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 wavy. Hi. Wavy, 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 wavy. Wavy, 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 wavy. All right. I'm going to finish the rest of her hair, and then we will move on to doing her face. All right, so I will see you back in a little bit. Now make sure her hair is completely dry before you start her face, because otherwise you're gonna run into the problem of you're gonna stick your finger in the wet hair. All right, so see you back in a little bit. All right, so here's my little princess right now. We're gonna add a face to her. So I have a little bit of red paint on my palette, you can see, and I'm gonna use a tiny brush and I'm gonna paint a smile. And then I've got a marker, so a permanent marker. So if you're little, I would recommend having mom and dad help you if you're gonna use a marker. I just so happen to not have black paint on hand, so I'm just gonna use a black permanent marker. It works just as well. So I'm just going to put a little bit of red paint on my brush and give her a little bit of a smile. Oh, let's see. There, see, a little smile. And then we're going to use the black paint, if you have it, or in my case, the black marker, to give her some eyes. So you can make her eyes any way you want to. I think I want her to have like really long lashes. So I might do a big eye with lashes coming off of it. I think that's what I'm gonna do, which I need to figure out. There we go. There, see? Ta-da! So now that your princess face is done, what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna work on her dress. So set all of your paint aside because you're not gonna need it anymore. So I'm just gonna set it way off the screen so that it's kind of out of the way. So now we're gonna work on her dress, and I'm just gonna face her to face you so you can see how pretty she is. You're gonna need your fabric or tool or whatever you have on hand that you're gonna make her dress portion out of. And then you're gonna want to cut a size that's going to fit around your toilet paper tube, okay? So you don't want it to be too big, otherwise it's gonna be like hanging off everywhere. So let's see. If I wrap it around like that, okay? And if I want it like that, then I need it to be about that long. Okay. So, just gonna cut. And it doesn't have to look super pretty because you're gonna be using the ribbon to help cover up where that attaches to the toilet paper tube. Okay. I have way more than enough fabric, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna set this aside. All right, so now we should be able to wrap this around the toilet paper tube this way, like that. All right, now what we need to do is make sure that all of the paint is dry before we do the next step. So I'm gonna pause, make sure all of my paint is dry, and go get a few glue and things like that. All right, hold on one. Alrighty, so now we're going to attach our skirt fabric to our princess. All right, so you're gonna need some glue. You can use tacky glue, you can use Elmer's glue. I'm gonna use Elmer's glue, or you could use a glue, like a hot glue gun with a glue stick. Just be careful if you're using a hot glue gun because you're probably gonna need some help from mom and dad to do that. You don't wanna burn yourself. So what you're gonna do is you're going to run a line of glue around your princess, and then you're gonna stick your fabric to that glue and hold it in place until it dries. It may take a little bit of time, but if you're using like tacky glue, it shouldn't take very long. All right, so I'm gonna run a little bit of glue all the way around. Get it from this side, there we go. And then I'm actually going to put the middle in the front so that it looks pretty. Okay. See how I'm just sticking it down? Stick it down, stick it down, stick it down. All right, and I'm kind of bunching mine up a little bit so it looks like it's all ruffly. And then I'm gonna let it dry. All right, stick it down, let it dry. All right, so while that is drying, we're going to start cutting our ribbon. Now it may take a little bit of time to dry. I mean, I use just regular school glue, so mine is probably gonna take a little longer. So I'm going to set this aside. Ooh, got school glue on the fingers. If it'll let go of my finger. Set that aside and let her dry. Turned her upside down while I let her dry. All right, and so we're gonna actually cut the ribbon. So what you're gonna do is you're going to want the ribbon to be about the width of your toilet paper tube. So let's start by opening the ribbon. This is a brand new pack of ribbon. I had to get yellow because I didn't have yellow, but I got sparkly because why not? All right, so I'm just gonna cut off the end. I've got an extra toilet paper tube here, so I'm gonna measure the ribbon around like that. So that, see, just overlaps a tiny bit so that we can glue it down. All right, now we just need to wait for our skirt to dry. So I'm gonna pause again, sorry guys, while that dries, and I will see you again in a little bit. All right, everybody, I actually brought out the glue gun because I needed something a little bit stickier for this next part. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna take your ribbon and you're going to glue it along the top part of your dress, okay? Now, I don't want the end to be in the front, so I'm going to start at the back. So you're just going to do a line of glue all the way around along the top part of your dress. It's kind of going to act as a way to hide the top of the dress, so where it connects to your toilet paper roll, because you want that part to be hidden. You want it to look all super fancy and pretty. All right, so I'm going to continue going all the way around. I had to readjust a little bit. There we go. Keep going until you're at the back again. And then if it overlaps a little bit, that's fine. All right. So again, if you are young, you're probably going to want mom and dad to help you with the glue gun, or tacky glue if you've got tacky glue. I just don't have tacky glue on hand. I just had a glue gun or the Elmer's glue. Elmer's glue works for putting on the dress, but not so well for that ribbon. The ribbon just needs a little bit more tackiness than what the Elmer's glue can do. All right, and so with that, we have our very beautiful toilet paper roll princess. Look at her, isn't she lovely? You can feel free and make as many TP princesses as you want. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna set her down so you can see how lovely she is. Very nice. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day, and join us again for another Fraser Public Library activity tutorial. Thanks so much. Bye.